Perfect.
Taco
Thanks.
Cal.
Thanks. So this is what the inside of the account looks like once there's some, there's some demo businesses set up in here already. There's kind of two ways that the software is going to be used. So one way is you've got an agency, you've got clients that are paying you, $1,000 a month for a service. You probably don't want to bill them directly through this software. You're probably just going to either, maybe include it in a service, do an add-on, but you're still billing them outside the software. And in that case, we're just going to look at what we have set up for. So I'm going to differentiate between white label and reseller. So white label is that we have a white labeled experience where your client is logging into a white labeled dashboard. It's got your brand, your logo. They get system emails from your business, but they're not necessarily paying through the software. They're paying you outside, or you're including it, or whatever. Reseller would mean it's still white label, but it's one level more that clients can sign up, upgrade, downgrade, cancel everything through the software, and it goes through your Stripe account. So from a white label perspective, and the other neat thing here is we've allowed for you to create as many brands as you want. So if you just have one agency, you want everything under your agency. A brand is this is on the white label side. So this is the white label brand that you sell the software under. So for me, one of my brands is First Rank Reviews. So I've got basically this domain takes me to this login page. I have a whole WordPress site that I've built out selling selling the product. But as soon as I go to start a free trial, that was sorry, got to update my site. But basically, as soon as I go to pricing or sign up, it's going to take me to this page where we're branded as me. So basically, if we're not reselling, this will just be a sign up link on this, or a sign in link on this page. If we are reselling, there'll be an option to sign up here for at different price points. So basically, when you create a brand, you choose your company name, what country the brand is based in, the subdomain that you want to use, you'd probably a subdomain of your agency, and then sender name. So this is when system emails are coming, any sort of password reset or anything like that. What name does that email come from? You'd upload a logo for the business, and then add brand. So like I said, you can have as many brands as you want. If you want to start up, spin up roofingreviews.com or poolcleanerreviews.com, go nuts. We don't care how many brands you have. So then each brand, once the brand, and the interface on this is going to change a little bit, but once you set up the brand, you actually have to click this little info button here. It's going to be on the same page shortly, but and then you need to set some DNS records. So this is where you set, so we already set the CNAME on the other screen, but this is where you set the email records. We use Mailgun as our provider. You're using our Mailgun account. You don't have to sign up for one. It's just, you have to set up the DNS records, SPF, DKIM, DMARC. If you have issues with this, you can hit up support, but basically you're going to update this either at your registrar or in Cloudflare or in cPanel or wherever you manage your domain servers. Again, if you need help, there's this little live chat is available during Eastern hours mostly, or just message me on Facebook if you want. Live chat's probably a better option. So then we've got our websites. So these websites are live. They got the little green check mark because the DNS has been configured. It's website might be a liberal term at this point. We might be building out more pages, but as of now, it's this page. It's a sign-in page, a login URL, and a sign-up page if you're using reselling. Then we have the reselling setup. So in reselling, each brand can have one billing plan associated with it. So you basically add your Stripe API keys here. You go into billing plan and you name your billing plan. You assign your billing plan to a brand. So say, Nate's Digital Marketing Agency. The brand, when we chose the country under brand, that chose the currency that we want to be selling in. So you always have to pay us in US dollars, but you can actually bill your clients in, I think we're supporting like 8 currencies already. If you're in a currency that we don't support, let us know. As long as Stripe supports it, it's pretty easy for us to add. And then we'd set our pricing. So basically our per location pricing, right now, it's, through October 11th, if you use, if anybody doesn't have the link, let me know. I assume you came through my Facebook post or something, but there's a link to get it still at the grandfathered pricing at $12 per location for life. If you just go directly to the site, it says 25. So anyway, so right now, so you'd be paying $12 per location. Maybe we want to charge $50 per location monthly. I want to charge 600 annually, not 6,000. Maybe I want to give them a price break. Maybe if they have multiple location business, I'll do 25 for the additional locations. And maybe 300 for the for yearly. And then there's options if they want a dedicated phone number. I'll talk about this later, but you can charge markup if they want to buy a dedicated phone number. You don't need a dedicated phone number, but it's an option. If they need additional SMS credits or additional email packs, again, you can mark that stuff up and sell it through the dashboard. By default, accounts come with 100 SMS credits and 500 email credits per month. That can be increased. And then just billing management. This screen, you can see all of the businesses that are on, how many SMSs they have, how many locations we're using, how many we have. Team management, again, because we have this concept of white label here, we have agency users and business users. So agency users work for your agency. They have different permissions. So as we add a user, so I'm going to add an agency user. Super user has full access to do anything that you can do. Brand managers have access to all of the businesses under a brand, and they can configure businesses, set them up, but they can't do things that would affect, that would change your billing agreement. So, there's somebody waiting to come on here. There we go. So basically, maybe you want to have a manager, but you don't want to let them sign you up for additional accounts. Business managers can only do business. Business viewers can only view data without editing it. And then these are all agency users. We also can create business users. So these are users, it's either a business owner, business manager, or business viewer. So these are your clients that want to log in and manage their businesses in here. Maybe they want to assign sub-users to their account. And there's also a checkbox that you'll see later on under the business, where you can set up a business for someone, but then check the box and require billing or not require billing. So again, depending on whether it's a reseller situation or not, we can require that you can set up their account, but as soon as they log in, they have to pay, or you can set it up and when they log in, it's free because you're billing them outside of the platform or including it. Integrations, we're not doing much with the Facebook integration right now, but we do have a Zapier integration, which I'll explain a little bit later. And then notifications here is basically, how do people want to be notified when they get feedback left for them? So this is for the clients generally. So say maybe they want to turn notifications on. They're going to get notified instantly every time a feedback comes in. Or maybe they only want to be notified if negative feedback comes in, and if positive feedback comes in, they don't want to be notified about it. So that's the notification settings here. So this is all the agency stuff, the reseller stuff. Now I'll just jump into the actual software and how it works for the businesses, and then if there's any questions about any of it, we'll go through that after. So basically, your top level entity outside of an agency, obviously, would be a business. So when you create a business, you put in the name of the business, again, sender name. So this is basically the business is going to be sending emails requesting reviews. What name does that come from? Now, there is an option to send from their own branded domain, in which case the sender name becomes less important. But there's also an option, like this works out of the box. If they don't want to configure DNS records, they don't want a custom phone number, they end up sending from a sending pool of numbers and from a sending pool of generic domain emails. So they won't say rep.co, they're like generic review request emails. So if they send from one of those, they can still set the sender name, and we can set the reply to, so that the user experience is very much like it's coming from them, even though it's not actually coming from their email. This is that payment method required box. So again, if that's checked, it would have to be associated with an active brand that has an active billing plan. But if that exists, we check the payment method required. That means the first time they log in, they have to configure payments. You can also do this down the road. Maybe they're a client, you're including it for free with their SEO. They cancel their SEO, but they want to keep this, and suddenly you want them to start paying. You can come in here, check this box, and the next time they log in, they're going to have to put their billing information in here. So country. So again, country of the business that we're setting up, logo of the business, alphanumeric alias. So again, there's options here to send review requests via email or text message. The text messages are in Canada and the US and I believe the UK have to come from a phone number. So they're coming from a SignalWire or Twilio number. In certain countries like Australia, alphanumeric sending is enabled. So basically, you could put in, my flowers could be their alphanumeric alias, and that's where the text message comes from instead of from a phone number. So that's an option there as well. You choose a logo for the business, and then choose whether we want to. We can assign an owner now or not. These are optional fields. If you assign an owner, that user will get they'll get invited to be a user. You could also create it without an owner and assign an owner later on. Businesses are not billable entities. So business is just a container. You can't really do anything with just a business. You need locations within that business. So locations are what get billed. That's what's at $12 a month. So you create a business, then within that business, you're going to need to create a location. So if it's a single location business, it might seem a little redundant, but as soon as you have multi-location businesses, it makes a lot of sense why we did it this way. So let's look at Taco Bell here. They have 3 locations. This is just an example. We don't actually work with Taco Bell. So we'll go into one of the locations. Actually, we're in the business as an entire entity now. If we click on locations, we could add locations here, connect location. Say I want a new location. I'll put in the name of the location, put in the address, and then choose what review profiles we want to generate and monitor reviews on. So we support natively, I think, about 80 different platforms. Pretty much all of the common ones that anybody would want to generate reviews on should be in here. If for any reason there's a platform that you want to generate reviews on that's not in here, we also have a custom link option. So you can create a custom link, basically put the link here, the name of the link, and then you'll need to upload a logo for that link, because later on when we're requesting reviews, it's going to show the logos of the platforms where people are being sent to leave reviews. So if it's a custom platform, you have to upload a logo. But let's say, Google My Business maybe is probably the most popular one that most people are going to want to use. So we choose Google. It's going to ask you for the place ID here. There's a link here to find place IDs on the developer, Google's developer location. It can be a little bit tricky with service area businesses. But again, we actually have a Chrome extension coming out, but it's not out yet, I don't think, but it's almost ready. That'll find place IDs for you. If you need any help finding place IDs, message our support too. More than happy to help. All of the other ones are just links. Google's the only one that requires a place ID. All the other platforms, if we want to do, say, Avo, we just need the link to the profile here. And then this checkbox here is, do we want this Avo profile to be visible at the feedback page, or do we just want to monitor reviews on it? So if we turn this off, then we're not actively requesting reviews on this profile, we're just monitoring. If we turn this on, then we're requesting reviews. So say maybe you put 3 in here, maybe you put Facebook, Google, and Yelp in here, but you have lots of Google reviews already. You might turn off Google. You're still monitoring it, still going to show up in reviews, but you might toggle that off for Google. And then once you have more reviews on the other platforms, maybe you toggle it back on and toggle those off so you can kind of control which platforms we're trying to generate reviews for. This will make a little bit more sense when I go into the campaign section. So that once the location's configured, we've got the location here with the platforms that we want to generate reviews on. And then we can head over to campaigns. So this is kind of like the meat and potatoes of the software. In campaigns, let's take a look at, let's do like a new campaign setup here. So basically with a campaign, we'd name the campaign. So let's say review requests. We'd select which location we want to generate the reviews for. So let's say Taco Bell in Castleberry. Then this is kind of an important setting here. So because we're sending automated text messages and emails based on a schedule, we have an option. Do we want to send anytime and just follow the schedule regardless of when they'd be sending? Or do we want to only send between 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Within our time zone? So that's probably a good option if you don't want to piss people off sending them a text message at 3 a.m. I don't know what time zone is, but it doesn't matter. So next is feedback gathering pages. So this is what people will see. So people are going to get an email or text message. It's going to request feedback, and then they're going to get directed to a page that looks like this. This is completely customizable. Everything in this can be edited, which means that, again, if you're working in a different language, we can edit all of these descriptions into any. It's completely customizable. But basically, welcome text, how was your experience? They can rate it from 1 to 5. By default, as you hover over these stars, it'll say poor, fair, good, very good, excellent. You can customize these too. We can change the background color to match the branding of the business. And then we'd set a positive feedback threshold. So this is, kind of optional how you want to request reviews. But if you want to gate reviews or use sort of what would be called a funnel, I might say, let's set a positive feedback threshold of 5 or more stars. So with 4 or more stars. So what that means is if somebody leaves 4 or more stars, they're going to hit this positive page after they submit the feedback form. The positive page, again, is completely customizable. You can write whatever you want here. Please leave us a review, whatever. And then the profiles that have been added in locations and that have been toggled on for show on feedback page are going to show up here. So it might be just Google, it might be Google and Facebook, it might, whatever profiles you've added are going to show up in here. If they left less than 4 stars, they're going to get this negative feedback page. So thanks for your feedback. One of our team members might get in touch with you. So we're not asking them to leave us public reviews if we know that they had a bad experience. Certain platforms, Google being one of them, have said that this is against their terms of service. Lots of people still do it. It's your choice how you want to deal with that. But if you want to be Google TOS compliant, and this is actually getting fixed right now. I think this got screwed up in our last update. But what this will do probably in the next day or two, it's not supposed to show up a giant Google link here. It actually adds a little line of text at the very bottom that says, still want to leave a review, click here. They still have the option, but they're definitely not encouraged to do it. Not sure how this got pushed out, but that's in our bugs list right now. So that, again, should be fixed shortly. And that technically makes you TOS compliant with Google. Other platforms don't have that in their TOS. So again, what you do is really up to you. You can also, if you don't like the whole internal feedback, external feedback, and just want to use this as a review generation tool for sending messages, you can turn feedback gathering off altogether, and people will just get sent directly to the positive feedback page, basically. Also, if your clients are interested in additional information, email and phone doesn't actually show up here if you send them the link. It only shows up if they access a QR code link, which I'll show you in a second. The describe your experience is here by default. And there we go. Describe your experience. It's here by default. And this one, if they fill this out then on the positive feedback page, they're going to have a link above here that says copy review text. So they only have to write the review text once. They write it here, they submit, then it says you want to share your review. They can just click one button to copy what they already wrote and then go to Google and paste it in there. If you disable that, then that doesn't show up. You can also create custom fields if people want to know maybe who was your salesperson? So we've used that one before. This could be a text area field. We can add maybe a drop-down field, same question, who is your salesperson? Maybe it's Sally or Bob or Carl. Anyway, and these show up here. So if your clients want to collect more information on this feedback form, they can. These can be dragged and dropped. You can make them required or not required. You can change what the send button says. So that's basically feedback forms. Then there is, let's create this next. So then I left something blank, didn't I? Just let me hop back out of here. We'll go into a live campaign. So then we have message configuration. So this is basically where you configure messages. So we can send SMS messages and or emails. Basically, as soon as a contact is added to the campaign, they get added to this campaign queue. So this campaign that's set up in here says after 0 hours, so as soon as they're added, send them an SMS message that says, hey there, please leave us a review with a link to the feedback URL. Wait 1 hour and then send them an email that says, leave us a review, and has the feedback URL here. So we can do this. Oh, this is days, sorry, not hours. So we waited 24 hours. We can also add variables in here. So maybe I'd like to use their name. So I can say, hey, first name, please leave us a review. And this sequence gets terminated automatically if they leave a review. So if you have a couple reminders in here, they leave a review on the first one, they'll get removed from the sequence. Then, it's SMS and emails. Sending queue just shows us whose recipients that have been added, whether they're active or not, whether they're completed or not. It'll show if there were any errors in sending. There's no one in this campaign. And then there's contacts. We add contacts through one of 4 methods. We can upload a CSV file. We strongly recommend not uploading more than 50 contacts a day, at least at the beginning. A lot of the review platforms will flag reviews if you get like none and then a whole bunch all at the same time. And also, if you're using a custom domain for sending, there could be spam issues with sending emails. So anyway, can upload through CSV. We have a Zapier integration. We also have a white label Zapier integration, or not white label, but generic. So if you're using this with clients under your brand, they'll have access to Zapier, but it won't say Repco on it. And you can also add contacts manually through this form: first name, last name, phone number, email. And the last way is through an unauthenticated form. So if you want to have, or if your clients want their salespeople to give this out, or their technicians after they've done installing a furnace to give it out, you can go to the public form link, and they can basically save this as a bookmark, or even create a shortcut for it as a desktop icon or an app icon on a phone. And then they can just pull this open whenever they want and add customers to it. So first name, last name, phone, email, add contact. So that's basically how campaigns work. You can update settings at any time. Feedback. This is where I wonder if I've got a campaign here with some feedback in it. Let's see. This is just my demo account here. Yeah, maybe not. Anyway, feedback and reviews are kind of two different things. Feedback is all the internal feedback. So there'll be a matrix here or a table with all of the internal feedback that's been received, all the answers to those custom questions that they asked, people's star ratings. And then the reviews pulls in reviews from the review platforms that we're monitoring. So it'll pull in all the Google reviews or whatever other platform you're monitoring here. And then branding is kind of your business settings. So this is branding for the business, not really white label branding. Again, some of these settings we set up when we set up the business: name, sender name, reply to. This is that payment method required checkbox. Again, if you want someone to start paying that hasn't been paying. And then this is where, if people want, again, optional, it works out of the box. But if they want to set up a custom email, you basically put in your email here, it'll add it here, and then again, set these DNS records. And then it will allow us to send mail on behalf of that domain. So we can send the review requests from the branded email of the client. Same with phone numbers. So phone numbers by default will get sent from a pool. Our pool of numbers is country specific, but not area code specific. So if it's important to somebody that we're sending messages from their area code, or they want a dedicated number, they can buy a number here. Number cost varies based on location. So it's just I think they're $2 a month in Canada, the US. I think they're a little more in some other countries. But basically you just search for an area code and you can lease a number directly through the platform. And that's pretty much it for demo. Exciting stuff in the pipeline. We're going to have a reporting widget, hopefully live next week, with live reports for each location. It's the next thing coming. But yeah, I guess if anybody, there's so few of us on this call. We've been doing chat questions, but honestly, if you have any questions, just unmute yourself and we'll just have a little conversation here.